In the beginning, there was nothing. Or, at least, that's how many of us envision the start of everything. But from this emptiness arose a question that has haunted scientists for centuries. How did life on Earth begin? Theories abound, ranging from spontaneous generation to the more accepted RNA world hypothesis. But can we pin down the exact moment when non-living chemistry transformed into the living tapestry we know today? The primordial soup hypothesis, proposed by Stanley Miller and Harold Urey in the early 1950s, suggests that life began in a warm little pond, enriched with the right mix of ammonia, methane, and hydrogen. Their experiments yielded amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. But what if Miller's experiment only scratches the surface? Recent findings from hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor suggest life might have started in these extreme conditions, with temperature gradients fostering the right chemistry. Imagine a world devoid of light, where microorganisms flourish in the dark depths of the ocean. This radically different environment could have given rise to the first cellular organisms, pushing the boundaries of our understanding of life origins. The implications are staggering. If life can emerge in such extreme conditions, what does it say about the possibility of extraterrestrial life? NASA's astrobiology program is one such endeavor probing this question, focusing on Mars and the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. What we find may not only rewrite Earth's history but also expand the narrative of life beyond our planet. Yet, we are still left with profound uncertainties. How do we connect simple molecules to complex life? One emerging idea is the concept of self-organization. Some researchers argue that life is driven by inherent physical laws, akin to how snowflakes form. This self-assembly could provide a more elegant solution to life's origins than random chance. But as we delve deeper into this mystery, it raises another question. If life was predestined by the universe's chemistry, are we truly unique? Could there be a multitude of life forms evolving in the expanses of space using different biological blueprints? In the quest to understand our beginnings, we find ourselves on the precipice of the unknown, where every discovery unearths more questions. With new technologies and explorations at our doorstep, we inch closer to answers that could reshape our understanding of existence. As we continue this journey into the unknown, the question clings to us: how did we get here? And are we alone? In the end, understanding the origins of life is not just about unearthing the past, it's an exploration of what it means to be alive. But the story doesn't end here. As we delve deeper, we encounter another layer of complexity. How did single-celled organisms evolve into the vast array of life we see today? The transition from simple single-celled organisms to the complex creatures we see today is one of the most fascinating chapters in the evolutionary story. Imagine, over billions of years, tiny cells evolving, mutating, and cooperating to form complex organisms. This journey began around 3.5 billion years ago with prokaryotes, the earliest known life forms. These microscopic pioneers thrived in harsh environments, and through a process called endosymbiosis, they merged to form eukaryotic cells, which led to the incredible biodiversity we see today. Endosymbiosis, proposed by Lynn Margulis, posits that mitochondria and chloroplasts originated as independent prokaryotic organisms that were engulfed by larger cells. This revolutionary partnership enabled cells to harness energy from sunlight and oxygen, opening new ecological niches. Fast forward to the Cambrian explosion, around 541 million years ago, when life seemingly sprang forth in an extraordinary burst of complexity. Suddenly, multicellular organisms began to dominate the seas. What triggered this sudden diversification? Some scientists suggest environmental factors, such as increased oxygen levels, provided the necessary conditions. Others point to genetic innovations, specifically the evolution of Hox genes, which determine body plans. Consider the Burgess Shale, a fossil site in Canada that offers a glimpse into this ancient underwater world. fossils like Hallucigenia and Anomalocaris reveal bizarre adaptations that seem alien to our understanding of life. These organisms, with their extraordinary appendages and body plans, challenge our assumptions about evolution, raising questions about what drove such creativity in nature. As we study these ancient creatures, the story of evolution reveals itself as a vast, intricate tapestry woven through time and survival. Yet, the mysteries of evolutionary biology do not end with the Cambrian explosion. The mass extinctions that followed, particularly the Permian-Triassic extinction, shaped the course of evolution in unimaginable ways. Around 252 million years ago, over 90% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial species disappeared. But in this chaos lay opportunity. Survivors adapted and evolved, giving rise to the age of dinosaurs. Yet again, we find ourselves questioning how environments impact evolutionary trajectories. Every extinction event shapes the path for future evolution, acting as both a destroyer and creator. This cyclical pattern underscores the fragility of life and its resilience. Now, we are left to ponder, what does the future hold for our species as we face our own challenges with biodiversity and climate change? The history of life's evolution is a fragile balance, reminding us that every creature, including ourselves, is the product of countless victories and tragedies. Each life form carries the weight of its ancestors, echoing through time. As we continue our exploration, we must ask ourselves, how does evolution continue to shape our existence today? Human evolution is perhaps one of the most captivating stories in the tapestry of life. Our lineage is a narrative steeped in trial and transformation, echoing the struggles of survival across millennia. We often picture our ancestors as primitive beings, but the reality is far more complex. The journey from our common ancestors with chimpanzees, about 6 to 7 million years ago, is marked by a series of evolutionary milestones that are anything but linear. One of the most intriguing aspects of this story is the emergence of Homo erectus, about 1.9 million years ago. This species was the first to exhibit traits we typically attribute to modern humans: toolmaking, the use of fire, and the ability to adapt to diverse environments. But what set them apart? Evidence suggests that it was their social structures and cooperative hunting strategies that allowed Homo erectus to thrive, marking a significant leap in cognitive evolution. However, the story of our evolution is not just about survival, it's also about adaptation to changing climates. As the Earth underwent drastic climate shifts, early human ancestors were forced to migrate out of Africa, creating new challenges and opportunities. The out-of-Africa theory postulates that modern humans began their journey roughly 200,000 years ago, spreading across continents. This migration brought them into contact with other hominids, like Neanderthals and Denisovans. These encounters were not merely confrontations. Genetic evidence shows interbreeding occurred, leaving a legacy in the DNA of non-African populations today. Studies indicate that approximately 1 to 4% of the DNA of modern humans outside Africa comes from Neanderthals. This raises profound questions about our identity. Are we hybrid beings of ancient lineages? Moreover, the brain's evolution poses an enigma. As our ancestors developed larger brains, they also exhibited increased social complexity and innovation. But was this growth driven by the demands of social living or environmental pressures? Research indicates that social interactions may have played a pivotal role in the evolution of our cognitive abilities. As we unravel these threads of evolution, we uncover not just our origins but the very essence of what it means to be human. This inquiry is not just scientific, it is deeply philosophical. The more we learn, the more questions arise. What does it mean to be human in a world where our ancestors intermingled with other species? As we delve into our prehistoric past, we begin to understand that human evolution is not simply a biological progression, it is a story woven with cultural, social, and environmental threads. And as we stand at the intersection of our ancient origins and future potential, one must wonder, how will the story of human evolution continue to unfold? Adaptation is one of the fundamental principles of evolution, a process that has allowed life to thrive in the most unexpected ways. From the vibrant coral reefs to the desolate deserts, life on Earth has demonstrated remarkable creativity in overcoming environmental challenges. Take the case of the axolotl, a remarkable amphibian that defies the typical course of development. Instead of undergoing metamorphosis into a terrestrial adult, axolotls retain their juvenile features throughout their lives, a phenomenon known as neoteny. This adaptation allows them to thrive in their aquatic environments while showcasing fascinating regenerative abilities. Scientists are investigating their unique biology, hoping to unlock secrets that could revolutionize regenerative medicine for humans. Another astounding example is the tardigrade, or water bear. These microscopic creatures can endure extremes of temperature, pressure, and even radiation. They enter a cryptobiotic state, effectively suspending their metabolism. In this state, tardigrades can survive in space, raising questions about life's resilience and potential for existence beyond Earth. Yet, adaptation goes beyond mere survival. It shapes entire ecosystems. Consider the unique adaptations of the Galapagos finches, observed by Charles Darwin. These birds evolved different beak shapes to exploit various food sources across the islands, illustrating adaptive radiation in action. Darwin's finches serve as a microcosm of evolution, showing how environmental pressures can mold species over generations. But what happens when these pressures change too rapidly? Today, human-induced climate change and habitat destruction are forcing species to adapt at unprecedented rates. Some organisms are evolving physically to survive, but the question looms, will they keep pace with the rapid environmental shifts? Research shows that certain species are already displaying signs of rapid evolution, be it changes in breeding seasons, body size, or even behavioral adaptations. But these adaptations may not be enough. The extinction rate is alarming, with estimates suggesting that species are disappearing at 1,000 times the natural background rate. As we witness this surge in extinction, we must reflect on the fragility of life and the intricacies of the web that supports it. In the face of these challenges, we find ourselves raising a critical question: can humanity play a role in aiding the survival of other species? In our pursuit of knowledge, we must consider not only the stories of survival but also our responsibility as stewards of the planet, to ensure that the wonders of evolution continue to unfold. Extinction is a natural part of life on Earth, but the frequency and scale at which it occurs is a subject of grave concern. Throughout history, 5 major mass extinction events have shaped the planet, and each served as a pivotal moment for evolutionary change. The Permian-Triassic extinction, known as the Great Dying, stands out as the deadliest, wiping out around 90% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. But what caused such unparalleled devastation? Scientific consensus points to a combination of volcanic eruptions, climate change, and ocean anoxia, an absence of oxygen in the oceans, leading to a cascade of biological collapse. The aftermath gave rise to the Age of Dinosaurs, a time when life flourished, yet continued to be shaped by environmental pressures. Fast forward to the most recent mass extinction, the Cretaceous-Paleogene event, which saw the demise of the dinosaurs around 66 million years ago. The leading theory attributes this extinction to an asteroid impact, creating the infamous Chicxulub crater in present-day Mexico. This cataclysmic event led to profound environmental changes, enabling mammals to rise and diversify, ultimately paving the way for humans. Yet, the question remains, are we on the brink of the 6th mass extinction? Current extinction rates are alarmingly high, with biodiversity facing threats from habitat loss, climate change, and pollution. Recent studies estimate that 1 million species are now threatened with extinction, an unprecedented crisis fueled by human activity. This grim scenario begs us to consider our role in this ongoing narrative of life and death. Historically, extinction events have opened doors for new adaptations and species to thrive. But with the speed of modern extinctions, will there be enough time for life to adapt? As we grapple with these realities, we find ourselves at a crossroads, where our choices can dictate the survival of countless species. In understanding the history of extinction, we also uncover the resilience of life. Nature often finds a way to rebound, but the road to recovery is fraught with challenges. As we reflect on the fragility of existence, one must ponder, are we stewards or saboteurs of the earth? In the pursuit of answers, our journey through evolution reveals not just the mechanisms behind life's survival but also the moral implications of our actions. What makes us human? This complex question often leads us to explore the greatest mystery of all, consciousness. For centuries, philosophers, scientists, and even artists have pondered the nature of awareness, the feeling of being alive and experiencing the world. Recent studies suggest that consciousness might not be singular, but rather a gradient of experiences across many living beings. From the seemingly simple nervous systems of jellyfish to the intricate brains of dolphins, the diversities of consciousness reflect an evolutionary tapestry that puzzles experts. Consider the octopus, with its decentralized nervous system, showing advanced problem-solving capabilities and behaviors remarkably similar to higher mammals. Does this mean their consciousness differs from ours, or is it simply an alternative form shaped by evolution? The philosopher Thomas Nagel famously asked, "What is it like to be a bat?" This question emphasizes that consciousness could take forms we cannot comprehend. As we unravel the neural correlates of consciousness, we find ourselves grappling with ethical questions regarding animal rights and the definition of sentience itself. Could it be that consciousness was an evolutionary advantage? After all, it grants species the capability to navigate their environments, social structures, and intricate problems. Yet, the deeper we dive into the mechanics of consciousness, the more profound the mystery becomes. Neuroscientists utilize advanced brain imaging, aiming to map the active regions of the brain during various states of awareness, sleep, and even dreaming. The findings hint at intricate networks that suggest our understanding of consciousness is ever-evolving. But the most perplexing aspect remains: if consciousness arises from the brain's electrochemical processes, how does subjective experience arise from mere neural activity? This question lingers in the air, waiting for a definitive answer, but perhaps it is the pursuit itself that captures the essence of our humanity. In the coming chapters, we will journey from the depths of our minds to the vastness of space, examining the cosmic connections that bind us all in ways we are only beginning to understand. The fossil record serves as a time capsule of Earth's history, revealing the astonishing tale of life that has unfolded over millions of years. But this record is not merely a collection of bones, it is a narrative filled with enigmas, clues, and occasionally, outright surprises. When paleontologists sift through sediment layers, they aren't just looking for dinosaur skeletons, they are investigating how life adapted to an ever-changing planet. Consider the discovery of the tiny yet remarkable Archaeopteryx, often referred to as the first bird, dating back to the late Jurassic period. This creature bridges the gap between reptiles and birds, showcasing feathers that hint at the evolution of flight. But how did feathers evolve? Was it for flight, or perhaps for mating displays or thermoregulation? This question remains one of many that keeps scientists awake at night. Moreover, the fossil record reveals patterns of mass extinctions, like the Permian-Triassic extinction, which wiped out nearly 90% of species. As we analyze these events, we find clues about resilience and adaptability. Some species, like the coelacanth, seemingly vanished only to be rediscovered alive, challenging our understanding of extinction and survival. These hidden chronicles reveal that evolution is not a straightforward path, but rather a complex web of branching destinies. The more fossils we uncover, the more questions arise, each filled with implications for understanding our own place in the tapestry of life. The fascinating link between paleontology and evolution begs the question, what are we missing that could rewrite everything we know? As we peel back the layers of time, we find that our understanding of life is constantly shifting, revealing more of the mysteries yet to be unraveled. Genetics is often called the blueprint of life. It orchestrates the symphony of biological processes within every organism. But within this blueprint lies a maze filled with unanswered questions. Take the fascinating case of epigenetics, where external factors can alter gene expression without changing the underlying DNA sequence. This field has reshaped our understanding of heredity, revealing that traits can be influenced by environment, diet, and even experiences. Recent studies show that trauma experienced by one generation can leave traces on future generations. This challenges our traditional views of evolution, suggesting that adaptation is not solely a function of random mutations but a responsive process influenced by environmental pressures. Additionally, rare genetic mutations can sometimes provide extraordinary advantages, like the ability of certain individuals to withstand extreme temperatures or resist diseases. The question is, how many uncharted territories of genetic potential are waiting to be discovered? Scientists have also initiated the ambitious Human Genome Project, mapping out the entire human genetic blueprint. Yet, even with this vast wealth of information, we find ourselves grappling with the complexity of gene functions and interactions. Each gene holds a story, a role that intertwines with numerous factors. The potential for genetic engineering and CRISPR technology introduces ethical questions regarding the power we wield over life itself. As we navigate the ethical and scientific landscapes of genetic manipulation, we must recognize the fine line between innovation and natural integrity. As we venture further into these genetic mysteries, how do we design a future that respects both scientific advancement and ethical considerations? The answers may hold keys to our survival in a constantly shifting world. As we ponder the enigma of life on Earth, our gaze inevitably turns to the cosmos. Are we alone in this vast universe? The search for extraterrestrial life has captured human imagination for centuries, propelling missions to Mars, the icy moons of Europa and Enceladus, and beyond. The discovery of extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme conditions, has expanded the envelope of where we might find life. These resilient beings challenge our definitions of habitability, leading scientists to consider life forms that may not rely on water or carbon. Yet, the question remains, what signs should we look for? SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Researchers listen for radio signals, but could intelligent life also exist in forms we cannot yet comprehend? The Fermi paradox arises from these wonders. If the universe is so vast and ancient, where is everyone? Recent discoveries of potentially habitable exoplanets suggest a cosmic renaissance in our search. The Kepler mission alone identified thousands of such worlds. As we look deeper into space, the formation of these worlds might echo the conditions that birthed life on our planet. The ongoing quest raises profound philosophical and scientific implications. If we encounter other life forms, what will that mean for humanity? Our identity, beliefs, and even existence may be challenged, reshaping the very fabric of our understanding. In our next chapter, we will explore how this quest for cosmic understanding influences our societal constructs, as we arrive at the final leg of our journey through evolution's greatest mysteries. As we conclude our exploration of evolution's mysteries, we find ourselves at a powerful crossroads. With advancements in science and technology, we stand on the brink of redefining what evolution means for humanity. The fusion of biology, technology, and neuroscience promises to alter our very existence. Genetic engineering offers unimaginable possibilities, from curing diseases to enhancing human capabilities. However, with great power comes great responsibility. We must navigate ethical considerations. How do we decide which traits to enhance? As we explore artificial intelligence and its expanding roles, we must consider its implications on human evolution. Will our reliance on machines lead to a deceleration of our biological evolution, or will we evolve alongside our creations? Furthermore, climate change and global challenges force us to reflect on how humanity adapts to unprecedented environmental shifts. The uncertainty of our future evolution ignites a paradox. While we possess the tools to shape our destiny, our choices may also dictate the survival of countless species. Conservation efforts play a pivotal role in preserving biodiversity, reminding us that we are part of a larger ecological network. What will become of us when faced with the reality of extinction? As we stand on the precipice of evolutionary change, we are reminded that the greatest mysteries of life continue to unfold. The journey of evolution is not only an understanding of the past but a vision for the future, an invitation to engage with the extraordinary possibilities that lie ahead. Ultimately, the mysteries of evolution challenge us to embrace curiosity, maintain humility, and foster a collective responsibility towards a sustainable, interconnected future. Climate change is not a contemporary phenomenon. It has been influencing life on Earth for millions of years. Various extinction events, like the end of the Cretaceous period, illustrate how drastic shifts in climate can dismantle ecosystems. For instance, the dinosaurs, who were once the predominant creatures, faced a dramatic change when a massive asteroid impact altered the planet's climate drastically. This event caused a rapid decline in temperature known as the impact winter, a scenario that left vast areas of biodiversity shattered. Paleontologists have found that after the extinction of the dinosaurs, mammals began to diversify rapidly, filling ecological niches left open by their ancient rivals. But how does climate change continue to shape evolution today? The polar bear is a poignant example of modern evolution in action. As the Arctic ice melts due to global warming, some polar bears are reportedly adapting by developing smaller appendages, a response to the need for thermoregulation in a warming environment. Climate change is forcing species to either adapt, migrate, or face extinction, creating a real-time laboratory of evolution. In another instance, consider the now famous peppered moth. During the Industrial Revolution in England, soot blackened trees and buildings, leading to an increase in dark-colored moths. Over time, natural selection favored these darker moths as they were less visible to predators against the soot-stained background. This adaptive change occurred over a mere few decades, illustrating how quickly evolution can respond to environmental changes. The current climate crisis serves as a backdrop for a new chapter in the evolutionary story, where species that cannot adapt may very well face extinction. As we look ahead, the question remains: which species will thrive and which will falter in our rapidly changing world? This intertwining of climate change and evolution is not just a scientific concern but a pressing reality for future generations of life on Earth. Isolation can lead to a remarkable phenomenon known as speciation, where a single species diverges into two or more distinct species over time. This process often occurs in geographically isolated environments, giving rise to unique evolutionary pathways. One of the best-known examples is the Galapagos Islands. These islands, located about 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador, are a living laboratory of evolution. When Charles Darwin arrived there in 1835, he observed various species that had adapted differently to their isolated environment. For instance, the Galapagos finches, often referred to as Darwin's finches, exhibit a range of beak shapes and sizes, each adapted for different types of food sources available on their respective islands. This adaptive radiation showcases how isolation can lead to an explosion of biodiversity. As the finches occupy different ecological niches, they reduce competition and facilitate further evolutionary change. But isolation doesn't just happen on islands, it can occur in unexpected ways. Take, for example, the case of the Amazon River. Over millions of years, its shifting flows have created barriers that separated populations of species. This has led to the emergence of distinct species of fish, amphibians, and reptiles, all adapted to their specific isolated habitats. In the context of humans, populations that became isolated due to geographic or cultural barriers have also developed unique evolutionary traits. The indigenous people of the Americas, for instance, have adaptations that reflect their environment, varying from their skin pigmentation to disease resistance. Yet, in our increasingly interconnected world, these processes of isolation are being disrupted. As species migrate due to human activity, their evolutionary paths may converge or clash, leading to unforeseen consequences. How does isolation continue to shape the course of evolution in our modern age? This question invites us to delve deeper into the delicate balance between isolation and interaction in the natural world. Human activity is rapidly reshaping the evolutionary landscape of our planet. As we extend our reach across the globe, we inadvertently alter ecosystems, influencing the trajectory of numerous species. One stark example is the domestication of plants and animals. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors began cultivating crops and taming wild animals, setting in motion profound evolutionary changes. The modern domesticated dog, for instance, is a direct descendant of wolves, but the complexities of this evolution are fascinating. Selective breeding has led to a wide variety of dog breeds, each tailored for specific tasks, from herding sheep to providing companionship. But alongside domestication, human activity has also triggered rapid changes in wild species. The introduction of invasive species can outcompete native flora and fauna, leading to shifts in population dynamics. A striking case is the introduction of the brown tree snake to Guam in the 1940s. This snake decimated local bird populations, causing several species to vanish entirely. Additionally, pollution and habitat destruction exert relentless pressure on wildlife, prompting unexpected evolutionary responses. For example, some species of fish in polluted waters have displayed increased tolerance to toxins, a clear sign of rapid adaptation fueled by human-induced changes. Urban environments are now becoming new habitats, leading to urban evolution. Researchers have documented remarkable adaptations among city-dwelling birds, like the rock pigeon, which exhibit distinct behaviors and physical traits compared to their rural counterparts. As we explore these changes, we must confront the ethical dilemmas surrounding humanity's role as a change agent in the evolutionary process. What responsibilities do we bear, and how can we mitigate our impact? This chapter challenges us to reflect on the relationship between human progress and the natural world, urging us to consider how we can coexist harmoniously with the myriad forms of life that share our planet. The evolution of intelligence is one of the most fascinating mysteries in the natural world. What sparked the development of advanced cognitive functions in certain species, while others remain at a more primitive stage? It all begins millions of years ago, in the depths of ancestral forests and grasslands. Early hominins, such as Australopithecus afarensis, displayed rudimentary tool use, indicating a significant step in cognitive evolution. However, this journey towards intelligence didn't stop there. As the climate changed, different circumstances arose that shaped intelligence in various species. For instance, the complex social structures of dolphins and elephants required higher cognitive functions. These animals exhibit not only self-awareness and empathy but also sophisticated communication skills. Studies have shown that dolphins can recognize themselves in mirrors, an indication of self-awareness, a trait once thought to be uniquely human. Meanwhile, the emergence of Homo erectus marked a turning point in human evolution. This species began to leverage fire, mark the start of advanced toolmaking, and develop rudimentary spoken language. The invention of tools and language exponentially increased the ability of early humans to adapt and thrive in a variety of environments. Yet, the question remains, why did intelligence evolve in some species and not in others? One theory suggests that environmental pressures play a crucial role. Species facing complex social challenges or foraging difficulties tend to develop higher intelligence. This is evidenced through studies in urban areas, where rats have shown increasing problem-solving skills due to their continuously evolving environment. The concept of cognitive ecology explains that the intelligence of a species is often directly related to the demands of its environment. As urban areas grow, so do the challenges facing wildlife. For instance, magpies in urban settings have learned to navigate human obstacles, adapting their behaviors to thrive among humans. As we trace the evolution of intelligence from simple life forms to advanced beings, we can also see parallels in the development of human societies. The rise of agriculture led to settlements, governance, and the complexity of modern civilization. Yet, with the rise of civilization came new challenges: how to manage resources, ethics, and coexistence. Each layer of complexity adds another facet to our understanding of intelligence. This evolution of intelligence also prompts us to explore the future. Could artificial intelligence mimic our own cognitive evolution? As we develop AI systems, we are essentially speeding up the evolutionary process of intelligence. What if, in the not-so-distant future, AI surpasses human intelligence? Questions arise. What does it mean to be intelligent, and can intelligence exist in forms entirely different from our own? Understanding the journey of intelligence evolution offers a glimpse into the very nature of life itself, how it adapts and transforms in the face of relentless change. As we stand at the crossroads of biological and artificial intelligence, the implications are profound. What does the future hold for a world where intelligent beings, biological or otherwise, share the same planet? This leads us to ponder not only our survival but the essence of consciousness and intelligence itself. Genetics is a fascinating lens through which we can observe the continuous dance of evolution. The study of DNA has unraveled many mysteries of our past, yet it also offers insights into our evolving present and future. How is it that a single organism can adapt so rapidly to its environment, or what genetic traits might define the next stage of humanity? When we consider genetic evolution, we must first understand the role of mutations. Small changes in DNA can lead to significant variations within a species. For instance, the peppered moth in England underwent rapid changes during the Industrial Revolution. As soot darkened the trees, darker moths had a survival advantage over lighter ones. This is a classic illustration of natural selection in action. Today, with advanced technologies like CRISPR, we can actively edit genes, posing a new ethical question: should we intervene in the evolutionary process? The ability to modify genetic codes opens doors to curing diseases but also raises concerns about unintended consequences. Can we play God without facing ecological repercussions? Let's fast forward to the contemporary era, where genetic studies reveal some shocking truths about human evolution. The discovery of Denisovans and Neanderthals, two extinct relatives, has transformed our understanding of what it means to be human. Recent studies show that many modern humans carry traces of these ancient species in their DNA, suggesting interbreeding occurred. This genetic legacy impacts not only physical traits but also susceptibility to diseases, such as how Neanderthal DNA influences our immune response today. Moreover, as they adapted to different environments, these ancient relatives evolved unique traits that numerous studies are still uncovering. Some findings suggest that Neanderthals developed larger noses which helped warm cold air, and the pressure of evolutionary success relied heavily on genetic adaptations. The implications of genetic studies are profound and far-reaching. As climate change accelerates, certain traits may rapidly evolve in response to environmental pressures. How will human beings adapt to rising temperatures, changes in food supply, or new diseases? Recent studies suggest that for every degree Celsius increase, certain populations may experience increased mortality rates. This places a ticking clock on the human capacity to adapt. As we contemplate the role of genetics in evolution, we must also consider cultural evolution. Culture and environment are deeply intertwined, contributing to the genetic narrative. For example, lactose tolerance is prevalent in populations with a history of dairy farming. This is a clear case where cultural practices have directly influenced genetic evolution. The future of genetic evolution raises essential questions. Could we reach a point where we engineer the human genome? If so, what ethical considerations will arise? The idea of designer babies and the potential for eugenics introduces a complex moral quandary that humanity must navigate. Evolution no longer solely functions through the lens of natural selection, it intertwines with technology. As we delve deeper into the genetic legacy of humanity, we find ourselves at the frontier of a new evolutionary epoch. The blend of biology and technology holds limitless potential, but we must tread carefully. As stewards of our evolutionary fate, what path will we choose, and how will that shape the world for those who come after us? Only time will reveal the intricate tapestry of life that emerges from this pivotal moment in our history. When we think about evolution, it's easy to focus on large mammals and the grand story of human development. Yet, there exists an entirely different world right under our noses: microbial life. These tiny creatures not only play critical roles in our ecosystems but are also master architects of evolution, shaping the destinies of larger life forms. Microbes are among the oldest forms of life, with a history spanning over 3 billion years. Unlike animals or plants, microbes have adapted in ways we are still struggling to understand. They are capable of incredible feats, such as extreme survival in environments that would be inhospitable to most other life forms. From the trenches of the deep ocean to the icy peaks of Antarctica, microbes showcase resilience in the face of adversity. Consider the story of thermophilic bacteria that thrive near hydrothermal vents. These organisms survive in temperatures that would denature most proteins. They give insight into the origins of life, suggesting that life may have begun in similar extreme environments. Yet, microbes are not only survivors, they are instrumental in shaping the evolutionary landscape. Their interactions with larger organisms are intricate and often critical. Take the human microbiome, for instance, the trillions of microbes that inhabit our bodies. Recent studies indicate that these bacteria are essential for our health, influencing everything from digestion to mental well-being. Alterations in our microbiomes have been linked to various diseases, even mental health disorders such as depression. This intricate relationship between our bodies and microbial life is a testament to coevolution. Interestingly, microbes can evolve rapidly, often outpacing the evolution of larger organisms. The speed of microbial evolution is a direct response to human activities. Take antibiotic resistance, a glaring example. Bacteria have evolved mechanisms to resist antibiotics, resulting in a public health crisis. In the U.S. alone, over 2 million infections occur each year due to antibiotic-resistant bacteria, leading to at least 23,000 deaths annually. This evolution of microbes, driven by human actions, raises questions about our role in the evolutionary narrative. This interplay between microbes and larger life forms is critical to understanding the ecosystem as a whole. Microbes are fundamental in nutrient cycling, decomposing organic matter, and supporting plant growth. Without them, life as we know it would be unsustainable. As we move forward, understanding microbial evolution is becoming increasingly vital. The study of synthetic biology aims to harness the power of microbes for various applications, from creating biofuels to developing new medicines. However, this prompts ethical considerations on how far we should go in manipulating these ancient forms of life. Could we unwittingly disrupt ecosystems or unleash unintended consequences? Ultimately, as we explore the role of microbes in evolution, we uncover a deeper truth: life is interconnected. The dance of evolution is not solely a story of survival of the fittest, but rather a complex web of relationships that govern the fate of all life on Earth. Microbes may be small, but they hold enormous power in shaping our world, reminding us of the unseen forces that influence our lives and the path of evolution. This intricate relationship between microbes and larger life forms signifies that the future of evolution may lie in the interactions we have yet to understand fully. As we move forward, the lessons learned from studying microbial life could prepare us for the challenges that lie ahead, reminding us that we are all part of a much larger evolutionary story. When we watch birds soar effortlessly through the sky, it's easy to take their flight for granted. But the evolution of flight is one of nature's most complex and fascinating stories. How did a group of terrestrial reptiles transform into the first avian creatures? To understand this evolutionary leap, we must journey back over 150 million years to the age of the dinosaurs. In the late Jurassic period, there were creatures like the Archaeopteryx, often considered the first bird. It had feathers and wings, but they were not just for show. These adaptations were crucial for survival. This creature could glide from tree to tree, escaping predators and foraging for food. Paleontologists have discovered that the evolution of feathers likely began long before flight. Originally, feathers served thermal regulation and display purposes, aiding in mating rituals among early dinosaurs. As these early feathers evolved, so did the need to escape ground predators, leading to the development of flight. But this transition was filled with challenges. Flight requires a range of adaptations, including lighter bones, enhanced respiratory systems, and powerful muscle structures. Recent discoveries have revealed that some non-avian theropods, like the Microraptor, had complex wing structures with feathers on their forelimbs and hindlimbs. This prehistoric creature shows that the journey to flight was not a straight path but a series of trials and adaptations. Moreover, the evolution of flight did not stop with the advent of birds. Bats, flying insects, and even extinct prehistoric animals like pterosaurs exhibit unique adaptations that allow them to conquer the skies. For instance, pterosaurs, which lived alongside the dinosaurs, developed a different wing structure altogether, utilizing a skin membrane stretched between elongated fingers. Bats, on the other hand, evolved the ability to fly from a small, shrew-like mammal, showcasing the incredible diversity of flight adaptations across the animal kingdom. So, what does the evolutionary story of flight teach us about adaptation and survival? It's a testament to nature's creativity and resilience, revealing how life can find a way to thrive in even the most challenging environments. The evolution of flight is not just about wings and feathers, it's about the relentless pursuit of survival in an ever-changing world. As we look towards the future, how will climate change and habitat destruction affect the bird species we see today? Will we witness new adaptations or the tragic extinction of species that once ruled the skies? The conversation about the evolution of flight is not just historical, it poses critical questions about the fate of life on Earth. In the grand tapestry of evolution, one of the most intriguing threads is the phenomenon of symbiosis. Often overlooked, the relationships between different species reveal the intricate connections that have shaped life on Earth. But what exactly is symbiosis? At its core, it refers to the interactions between two different organisms, where both species benefit in various ways. Take, for instance, the relationship between bees and flowering plants. Pollinators like bees have evolved alongside these plants, developing specialized features, like their hairy bodies that trap pollen. In return, the plants provide nectar, a vital food source for the bees. This mutualistic relationship highlights how evolution does not occur in isolation but rather in networks of dependency and collaboration. Another fascinating example of symbiosis is found in clownfish and sea anemones. Clownfish are immune to the stinging tentacles of the anemones, which offer them protection from predators. In return, clownfish help keep the anemone clean and provide nutrients from their waste. This delicate balance illustrates the profound nature of evolutionary partnerships. But the saga of symbiosis doesn't end with animals. Research has uncovered that even in the microbial world, symbiotic relationships thrive. The human gut, for example, hosts trillions of bacteria that help digest food and strengthen our immune systems. These microbes have co-evolved with us, shaping our physiology and health in ways we are only beginning to understand. In recent studies, scientists found that individuals with diverse gut microbiomes are healthier and more resilient to diseases, raising questions about how lifestyle and diet influence these microbial partnerships. As we delve deeper into symbiosis, we encounter the concept of coevolution, where two or more species influence each other's evolution. For instance, the interaction between predators and prey can lead to a fascinating evolutionary arms race. As gazelles evolve to run faster, cheetahs adapt to become swifter hunters, showcasing a dynamic relationship between these species. But what happens when these relationships are disrupted? Human activity has led to habitat destruction and climate change, threatening many symbiotic relationships. Coral reefs, essential to marine life, are suffering from bleaching events, an example of how delicate these ecosystems truly are. As we face these environmental challenges, the future of symbiosis hangs in the balance. Can we learn from nature's interconnectedness to foster resilience in ecosystems? The study of symbiosis reminds us that life is profoundly interconnected, and our actions have far-reaching impacts. What does the loss of these relationships mean for our planet? The answer may lie in understanding the threads that bind us all, as we navigate the challenges of a changing world. When it comes to evolution, many people envision slow, gradual changes over millions of years. However, evolution can occur in real time, and several groundbreaking studies have documented these rapid changes. One of the most compelling examples can be found in the peppered moth in England. During the Industrial Revolution, a significant increase in pollution darkened the trees in British forests, favoring darker moths over the lighter ones. This shift in coloration was a direct response to environmental changes and showcased natural selection at work. Studies revealed that the proportion of dark moths rose from less than 1% to over 95% in just a few decades, highlighting how quickly a species can adapt to its environment. Moving to the Galapagos Islands, we find another striking example. The finches of these islands, famously studied by Charles Darwin, continue to showcase evolution as it unfolds. A severe drought in 1977 led to the survival of larger beaked finches, capable of cracking tougher seeds. Researchers documented that the average beak size increased significantly during this period, demonstrating evolution in action within a single generation. Such studies emphasize how environmental pressures can spur rapid adaptations. But the story of evolution is not solely confined to wild species. Urban environments also present unique challenges that drive evolutionary changes. A study on the common house mouse in cities like New York has shown that these rodents have developed darker fur compared to their rural counterparts, adapting to their environments for better camouflage. These examples illuminate the power of natural selection, but they also raise questions about the future of these species. As climate change accelerates, how will populations adapt? Will we see new traits emerge, or will species struggle to survive? The evolutionary responses of species can inform us about resilience and adaptation in a rapidly changing world. As we grapple with the consequences of our actions, understanding evolution in action becomes vital. It's not just a historical narrative, it's the ongoing saga of life, revealing how interconnected everything truly is. As we explore these evolving stories, we are reminded of our own role as stewards of the planet. The question remains, are we prepared to adapt alongside the changing rhythms of nature? In the grand tapestry of life, perhaps one of the most astonishing aspects we encounter is the phenomenon of symbiosis. It's a relationship that defies the traditional notion of survival of the fittest. Instead, it tells a story of collaboration, mutualism, and sometimes even parasitism. To understand symbiosis, we must first delve into its different forms. At its core, symbiosis refers to the interaction between two different organisms living in close physical proximity. While many onlookers often view these interactions through a lens of competition, there's an intricate balance at play, and it has shaped the evolution of countless species. Consider the remarkable relationship between the clownfish and the sea anemone. The clownfish finds protection within the anemone's stinging tentacles, a refuge from predators. Meanwhile, the anemone benefits from the presence of the clownfish, which helps keep it clean of debris and provides nutrients through its waste. This mutualistic relationship exemplifies how life can thrive when different species work together. It's not just a partnership, it's a dance of evolutionary benefits that has persisted for centuries. Another fascinating example of symbiosis is seen in the world of fungi and plants. Mycorrhizal fungi form associations with plant roots, extending the plant's ability to absorb water and essential nutrients from the soil. In return, the plant offers carbohydrates produced through photosynthesis to the fungi. This relationship significantly boosts plant health and enhances soil quality. In forests, these networks can span vast distances, linking individual plants and trees in a way that allows them to share resources and even communicate distress signals during drought conditions. But what happens when these delicate symbiotic relationships are disrupted? In today's world, climate change poses a significant threat to these intricate partnerships. Rising temperatures and changing ecosystems lead to mismatches between species, disrupting these ancient alliances. For instance, coral reefs, which rely on symbiotic relationships with algae, are facing bleaching events at unprecedented rates due to ocean warming. As the algae leave their coral hosts in response to stress, the entire reef system unravels, impacting countless marine species that depend on it. Now, let's explore an intriguing case of parasitism, a darker aspect of symbiosis. The parasitic relationship between the cordyceps fungus and its insect hosts offers a glimpse into the complex web of life. These fungi invade the bodies of insects, ultimately consuming them from the inside. While this can seem gruesome, it is a potent reminder of how interactions in nature can drive evolution and adaptation. As we look toward the future, the study of symbiosis holds valuable insights into biodiversity and conservation. As we face the challenges of a changing planet, understanding these interconnections becomes crucial for preserving ecosystems. The key takeaway here is that evolution is not a solitary journey, it's a shared experience. In the realm of biology, the partnerships formed through symbiosis are a testament to the power of collaboration. And as we continue to study these relationships, we gain insights into the resilience and adaptability of life itself. So, how will our understanding of symbiosis shape the future of conservation efforts? Can we harness this knowledge to restore ecosystems that have been disrupted? The answers may provide a pathway to a more sustainable coexistence. Welcome to a fascinating yet ferocious aspect of evolution, the evolutionary arms race. In this ceaseless contest, species adapt and counteradapt to gain advantages in survival. Picture a battlefield where predators and prey engage in an ongoing struggle, each striving to outpace the other. It's a dance of survival that has played out over eons and continues to shape the evolution of countless organisms. One classic example is the interaction between cheetahs and gazelles. Cheetahs are built for speed, capable of reaching up to 70 miles per hour in short bursts. But gazelles have evolved remarkable agility to evade their swift pursuers. Their incredible leaps and changes of direction are crucial for survival. In this scenario, we witness how each species constantly evolves traits that push the limits of their capabilities. Yet, it's not just the cat-and-mouse games that define this arms race. Consider the relationship between plants and herbivores. Plants have developed a myriad of defenses, from thorns to toxic chemicals, to deter animals from feeding on them. In response, herbivores have evolved adaptations that allow them to overcome these defenses. For instance, some insects can detoxify poisonous compounds, allowing them to feed on plants that would be lethal to other species. A striking case is the evolution of the monarch butterfly and its relationship with milkweed. Monarchs rely on milkweed as their host plant, but the plant produces toxic chemicals aimed at repelling herbivores. However, monarchs have adapted to not only eat milkweed but also sequester these toxins in their bodies, making them distasteful to predators. In essence, they have turned the plant's defense mechanism into their own survival tool. This arms race showcases the ingenuity of evolution, where each side pushes the other to extraordinary limits. Intriguingly, the evolutionary arms race extends beyond interactions between predators and prey. Parasitism, as we mentioned earlier, plays a significant role in shaping these dynamics. For example, in the world of birds, brood parasitism is a fascinating strategy employed by some species, like the cuckoo. The cuckoo lays its eggs in the nests of other birds, tricking them into raising its young. This deception creates an intense evolutionary pressure on the host birds, compelling them to develop traits that can help them recognize and reject these intruder eggs. The arms race here is centered around intelligence and instincts, as the hosts adapt to protect their brood, while the cuckoo refines its strategies to outsmart them. As we delve deeper into the evolutionary arms race, we must acknowledge the role of human activity. Pollution and habitat destruction create stressors that force species to adapt rapidly. However, this can lead to dangerous repercussions, such as the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Strains of bacteria have evolved mechanisms to withstand antibiotics, rendering many treatments ineffective and posing a significant challenge for healthcare. As we navigate these challenges, understanding the evolutionary arms race offers valuable insights into biodiversity conservation. Protecting ecosystems can preserve the delicate balance between species and help mitigate the consequences of human-induced changes. The question remains, how will our efforts to understand and intervene in these evolutionary processes impact the future of life on Earth? Can we find harmony in this relentless dance of survival? In the intricate web of life on Earth, cooperation can be just as vital as competition. Throughout history, species have thrived not solely due to individual prowess but also through remarkable partnerships. Take, for instance, the evolution of the social insects, like ants and bees, where collaboration is not just beneficial, it's essential for survival. The intricate structures of their societies allow for division of labor and sophisticated communication, showcasing how cooperation can lead to greater success than individualism alone. But cooperation isn't limited to insects. Humans, too, are a testament to the power of working together. Our ancestors likely survived in harsh environments due in part to their ability to collaborate in hunting and gathering. The development of language facilitated this cooperation, allowing for complex strategies and the sharing of knowledge across generations. However, the evolution of cooperation isn't without its challenges. The prisoner's dilemma is a classic example in game theory that illustrates the tension between cooperation and self-interest. In certain conditions, individuals might choose to betray their partners to maximize personal gain, risking the collapse of cooperative structures. Over time, mechanisms such as kin selection, reciprocal altruism, and the development of cultural norms have emerged to encourage cooperation among unrelated individuals. Consider the case of vampire bats, which share blood meals with those in need. This behavior highlights the evolution of altruism outside of kinship ties. By helping others survive, they ensure a stronger community that can collectively face threats. This dynamic has deep implications for the understanding of social structures in nature and the evolution of morality in humans. As we dive deeper into the evolution of cooperation, we uncover the intricate dance of survival strategies that not only shape individual species but the entire ecosystem. What does this mean for the future of evolution? Will cooperation become more predominant as environmental pressures mount? Or will competition reign supreme? Stay tuned as we explore this fascinating conundrum further. Climate has always been a dominant force shaping the evolutionary pathways of life on Earth. From the ice ages that sculpted mammalian diversity to the warmer periods that allowed tropical forests to flourish, climatic shifts have driven species to adapt, migrate, or ultimately face extinction. For animals, the ability to respond to climate change is directly tied to their survival, influencing everything from physical traits to behavioral patterns. One striking example of this relationship is the evolution of the woolly mammoth. As the Earth transitioned from a warmer, forested landscape to the cooler